Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Silly Voices Saturday. Before we begin the show, I just want to basically put out a statement from myself, not sorry from the cast, but the cast, to remind you that today and tonight and for all Saturdays to come, will continue to be the entertainment show that we are and try and distract those in the world from the horrible events that are currently going on right now. But what's happening currently out in the various countries in the world is completely unacceptable and unattainable from either sides, and perpetuating a series of violence, which is just frankly intolerable. And we, at least I, put out my condolences to all the innocent people who are just trying to live their lives within those countries and are unfortunately falling victim to politics. And with that, my name's Ebak, welcome to the show, and I'm going to introduce the cast. Hello, everyone, welcome to the show. We have a Burr with us.
Yeah, so to the leaders of the world, I can only rephrase the brave soldiers from the Snake Island and tell, idite na chuj.
I still say we should eat them. Just all politicians should eat them. We should just all just. I mean, let them have cake. Well,
I wouldn't go so far as eating because cannibalism, but
also rank.
That's how you get Ebola.
yeah.
Yeah, no. Also, when you eat human meat, you get Bjorn disease, so not great.
Yeah.
Well, we can feed them the
Let's
dogs.
be careful.
Yeah, we can do
I
that.
don't think the dogs deserve that. You should feed
That's
them.
that is true. That no one deserves to kind of eat that.
Pigs will eat anything.
We also have a
Yeah.
divot.
Hello there.
Yeah, we have.
I don't have any sort of
Toby.
intro.
That's fine. That's fine. Intros come and go as they please. Drifting.
Can we just fire all of them into the sun? I think that's easier.
I mean, that's probably the easier solution. Well, no, we should get on a starship and then just send them out to the next planet. That we'll catch up with them.
Here comes
No,
the
no.
sun. Do.
Someone will
better,
get.
better idea. Hunger Games.
You're
Yes.
suggesting pulling
Yes.
a Gulliga Frinchin B arc, and I
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yes.
I like that.
I knew someone. I knew you would get it. I knew someone would get.
Do
And
you
speaking,
think they'll all die out the same way from an infected telephone?
well, fine.
But we're not throwing away the telephone sanitizers. They're staying.
I would
And-
actually love the world leader Hunger Games, though.
and Kay, which to be fair, Kay's already introduced themselves, so for pretty much with that intro.
Yeah, I'm already in the. I already was like, yes, Hitchhiker's Guide joke. Here we go. My other joke, however, is in the original version of, well, not original version, in the fucking fan translation. The fan translation of Investigations 2, Taurosaurus was called Muzilla,
Also, yep.
and because of that, there's this one image from a clickhole video where it says "Gorilla killed the president," and there's a gorilla holding a sign that says "Gorilla killed the president." It's a clickhole video about JFK, so that's the joke. One of my friends edited that to say "Mozilla killed the president," and I still think about that. That's all.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I
And,
mean, that's what we've established last week.
I mean, also, I think my idea has merit. I mean, Elon's wanting to go to Mars. He wants to build the rockets. Let's get him and all the people on there together and say, "Tally ho, go. We'll catch up with you," and then just forget.
I mean, now that
We buy a giant
It has to
Arby's,
be on
a
one of his
Stargo.
space, on his rockets, so there's a non-low chance that they will blow up before they even get there.
yeah.
Of course.
Also, I mean, now that he's mortal enemies with the Orange Man, maybe he will be sent to Mars.
Well, that's the thing that's going on that I've been watching with great interest. Our woman in Japan. I'd like to
Yeah.
introduce them. Laura Petal.
Heartwarming. The worst people you know are fighting.
What I've come up with is kind of prudent for me as well because it ties to rather positive events that have happened for my family members. But I will say that we will put on always a good show for all of y'all to take your mind away from the heavy things and let you just sit back, relax, and chill with us. Per ardua.
Yeah.
I'm not cultured, so. Although what I will say is, also congratulations to Laura Petal for making 1,000 follows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We celebrated that earlier today. There was a whole bunch of blue hedgehog. I'm tired.
I know, I was there for a little bit of it at least. And we have a Mr. Lemongrass, our man from the north.
Hello. I'd like to get out of the anxiety cave sometime today.
Nah, you're safe in there.
Are you sure you're not in the basement with Clavier?
I don't know. I have Wi-Fi reception. I might just stay here anyway.
Mood.
Oh, hello, is that you?
And we have my good friend and yours, Mistropolis.
I believe there's a song that summarized all of this very well, and it goes a little bit like moon politicians, politicians on the moon, in a Burberry spaceship, politicians on the moon.
And we also have a special guest for this case, Miss ShadowPhoenixRider.
Hello, I am building Lego and will be for the entire stream.
Yeah, and who's building currently a Lego space shuttle. I kind of wish I had like, a little like camera in camera kind of picture, so we could watch the
reaction.
Yes, Shadow is currently building the ship that will be escaping this hellhole of a planet from.
Yes.
The Space Shuttle Discovery was decommissioned in 2012, if I remember correctly.
Still, we better pray that there's an intelligent life somewhere out in space.
No. I was saying you're literally building the ship that we're going to escape on. We're going to somehow make that thing fly, and we're gonna escape out into the
We're going to turn ourselves into mini Lego figurines, and we're going to get in there, and we're going to leave.
Gambit don't think that's a good idea, Monami.
Maybe we'll just stay as like maybe
drop a piece.
Oh no.
But what about if the beast makes it? Would you trust it then?
Yes.
Anyway,
unless it's Mr. Beast, then no.
Think about it.
Last time we managed to rule out a kaiju killer, and now we've now ruled out or supposedly are going to rule out a child killer. Not someone who kills children, but a child who is a killer. But for now we have
a lot in Ace Attorney. Jesus Christ, children aren't killing people. I promise.
Not just that, but it's like seriously, dudes.
There have been cases of children.
No, in Ace Attorney. Sorry. This is actually a fun fact. This is why Dual Destinies got an M rating, because it implies so heavily that Athena killed her mom. That and the Covered in Blood bit, and there's limits on what you can see children doing in video games before you get an M rating. Yeah. And this is rated T. Ergo, we know that a child did not do it. Like, I'm not talking about real life. I'm talking about video game.
Unless the name is yeah.
And that's why you can't kill children in an open world game.
I was about to say, it really, whenever someone complains that they can't kill children in an open world game like Skyrim or such, it really makes me stop and just think, what kind of sociopath is hiding in there? You know?
It's like, is everything okay at home?
Please,
I get.
Yeah. Please try and attempt to untwist that mind of yours, good sir, before you get out into the open world.
We just got a subscription from, a follow from Xanderus, and also thank you, Ludithium, who also subscribed. In fact, a subscription. What do we got? We got Drifting.
In fact, take a guess who is the miscreant.
You Drifting.
Me? I
Thank
didn't
you.
do anything.
Well, thank you so much for the subs. I appreciate it very much. Congratulations to Uncharted 3 Raider, Anthony Nelms 38, Mako Ray, Theridium, and Xanderus. I'm sure Xanderus will pop in here probably at some point thinking, hey, I got a sub. Strange. And I am Burr. Thank you for 1,000 bits, Burr. I appreciate that.
Do y'all want to check that you actually got the game on your stream as well? Because you're still.
I was about to say.
Give me a second.
Yeah, I will recite this incident once you can see my beautiful face.
In the hope that he would see it.
I was going to laugh and say, so today's stream, we're going to be doing the voice acting legends of Shadow building Lego.
Yes.
It's funny because actually on my monitor, I do actually have a little picture-in-picture of, thanks to the Discord overlay of the construction in progress. The audience can't see it, but I can see it.
We can still put Shadow's little picture where it says chat.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to embarrass the Shadow like
That's
that.
a free space waiting for
Sorry,
you.
Please don't show the world what my desk looks like.
I mean, touche. My desk is just horrible.
We don't
Although
want the internet to say, yo,
My
you
desk
live
is
like
also
this?
not right.
I'm currently surrounded by switches. I've got one on one side, one on the other. I think.
Oh, you and your evil lair, are we? Because like switches, like.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway.
Yes, we've got a sob story.
Switch and the trap opens in the floor.
We have a sob
I'm
story
about
from Lang coming up about his past. So
Yeah,
the
from
mood.
Bootleg Wolverine.
You
Let's go.
cliffhangered me, you son of a bitch.
What can I say?
It's a long
Anything
story.
you
It
want,
takes a
it's
whole
your
week
show.
for me to tell it.
Your palms have been glued for a week.
I've been waiting for you to start for an entire week.
Yes, it's 5 inside.
I'll just say it's taken him a whole week to just get past the shakes and the anxiety of being able to tell the story.
Happened on a winter's day 12 years ago. February 10th, to be precise.
Well,
What's
12
it
years
about
in a week.
What's about winter and things happening on winter's days?
It's cold,
People
dark.
don't-
What year was that? Shilong Lang, what year was that if you want to be precise?
14 years ago, clearly.
Kate probably knows
I
very
can,
well.
hang on. I'm pulling up the timeline.
No, I want Shilong Lang to say it in the game.
Well, no, because they never say the year in the Ace Attorney games. That's
We are
the rule.
4 lines in. And I know for a fact that Mr. FW is very, very excited to get to see a Stars DLC soon. Not that I'm
We
complaining.
play video games, I promise.
Okay, I get
Sorry.
it.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Your police received... Sorry. Your police received a call directly from the kidnapper. I've got the president of Zheng Fa.
So he was kidnapped?
It was,
Yeah. Yes.
February 9th to 10, 2007.
Oh, thank you.
I figured it. I found it on the timeline.
SS5 is the official designation of the president's kidnapping case. The kidnapper wanted $100 million.
1 million.
Pinky raised to mouth.
100 million? How much money even is that?
100 million.
100 million.
Yeah.
No, I know what she means, though. I know what she
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
trying to visualize how much money that is.
No, I think
Oh,
originally she is trying to figure out how much it is in yen, or like dollar yen, the currency of Japanifonia.
Yeah, Zhang Fa to American currency.
Genuine
Doesn't mean that
question, is that
Zhengfa
not a
uses
billion?
Zhengfa dollars.
No, that has to be 1,000. I think it's like 1,000 million to be.
To be a billion?
Yes.
Hmm.
You are correct.
More than you can imagine, it seems.
Brother, I could not imagine it.
The last person to see the president that night was my father.
Jesus,
I
man.
don't know.
Hot
I
damn,
don't know.
old-
I
old
can
man
imagine quite
Logan.
a lot.
Look. I'm not a man. I just realised I want to fuck Katga, so I'm gonna just rescind what I was gonna say.
It's more the fact that, like, I honestly, I could not tell that it was your relative Lang. I don't know what gives it away.
I have no
His
idea.
beard hair went to my eyebrows. They were
I
together
had
at
to,
the
thank
embassy of Zheng Fa until midnight on the 10th. And nobody knows what happened with the president after that until he was kidnapped. Our government did everything they could to scrape together the money. They were desperate to save him. And in the end, they succeeded. The money was handed over and the president came home safely.
Is this some
have a
fucking like Steven Universe plot where the person you think it is not like Pink Diamond was like Rose Quartz was Pink Diamond the whole time. That fucking thing. Sorry, spoilers for Steven Universe. It's been out long enough.
I mean, every time an Ace Attorney is like that, I have a suspicion that the president was the kidnapper at the same time, and he just wanted extra money.
Who knows?
We've already got two theories. Fair enough. All right.
I also put a pin in something last time. Some joke that somebody made. If anybody remembers, credit to you. Anyway. So, Mr. Huang was head honcho even back then? Wow. Go, Mr. President. Apparently they don't have term limits in Zhengfa? Huh.
The length of time he stayed in power isn't even close to the most impressive thing about him.
I mean, Zhengfa is supposed to be based on China, right?
Yes. Vaguely.
And they used to have an emperor, which usually didn't change unless they died. So.
I mean, similar thing with the first secretary of the Communist Party. They stay in post until they die, just like Putin.
Yep.
This is me looking directly in the camera.
Thanks for communists.
I'm
Asian...
looking forward to seeing Tumblr crap rave. I'll just leave it at that.
Agent Lang was clearly very fond of President Wang. I assume the kidnapping was thoroughly investigated.
It was. But the investigation was top secret, as was the trial.
The trial? So a suspect was arrested?
I love how Andrew immediately is like, trial? Especially just that part that activated. I get it, dude.
Breaks wall. Did someone say trial?
Me too, though. Literally, like, somebody made a joke about, like, I wish you could be my lawyer, and I was immediately like, yes, I'm happy to.
Also overlooking the bombshell line that Lang's about to drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, none other than our friend, Fifi Lagarde.
She was the suspect of... Okay, that's, What? Is that why you visited the prison?
It is. I was put on what you might call extended leave from Interpol. So I thought I'd use the time to look into what happened 12 years back. And I wanted to see who I was dealing with.
She was found not guilty then, wasn't she?
Yeah. My father was in charge of the president's security at the time. They held him responsible for the kidnapping and stripped him of his duties as presidential bodyguard. He stayed in the force, though, and he worked the case alone, until eventually he found a suspect. The guard. And if he thought she did it, there's no way she was innocent. But they declared her not guilty, and the case went cold. My father couldn't take it. He was broken mentally and physically. Finally, he got the force all together.
So he had solid grounds to suspect Warden Lagarde?
He must have evidence. He wouldn't have charged her otherwise. But I've never been able to see the materials from the case. I'm sorry, but that's all I know.
We do, Mr. Edgeworth. This is useful information, but... I don't really think it's enough for Little Thief to recreate the scene, because it's just a name of a lady.
Is there really nothing we can do? Huh? I think...
Who this?
I think...
suspect Eddie?
Is it I?
It probably is you, yeah.
You look like you could use a hand.
Who's this now?
Oh shit! I have to actually do
Only
some
your
work.
friendly neighborhood defense
Oh
attorney.
no. How can we make you work?
Franziska.
And Mr. Fender!
We finally wrapped things up over the courthouse with Fran, so we thought we'd see what you kids were up to.
Cool. Here.
What's this?
Your mother.
That's very hurtful, Francisco.
And
It
Kay is
says,
dead. Good job.
Sorry,
This is 5.
Francisco, because neither Fran or Miles have a confirmed mother. We don't know shit about their mom.
They never had moms.
Yeah,
They just spawned into existence.
that's one of the going theories.
They split off asexually from the fathers.
Oh dear.
I was wondering
Athena from Greek mythology style.
Yeah.
I was
Right,
wondering
who-
how prosecutors reproduce.
Ironically, how Athena in this series does actually have a mother.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on, Lemming.
It says SS5 Incident Investigation Report.
Your mother really had a weird name, my Salino.
Mm. SS5 incident case file data jotted down on my organizer.
When Fifi Lagarde mentioned an incident from 12 years ago earlier, I couldn't help but wonder. So I decided to look into it. And this is what Interpol provided. Sorry, the Cajun. Fucking thanks. Get out of my language receptor.
Nice work, Francisca.
Don't get the wrong idea, Miles Edgeworth. You're no longer a prosecutor. I didn't do this for you. I did it so that the colleague could solve his father's final case.
I owe you, sis. But everything related to the SS5 incident was supposed to be top secret.
Yes, but that classification was applied by the prosecutor in charge of this case, Excelsius Winner.
Oh,
He.
By the way,
Go on.
Oh, sorry. Just before we move too fast, Lang calling Francisca sis. In the original Japanese, the character he uses is the same one that is used by like Yakuza members to refer to the wife of the boss. So,
Yeah.
just fun fact. Wanted to quick say that. Anyway.
He was the prosecutor in charge.
Him again.
Distantly, you can hear him laughing.
Shut the fuck up. Don't worry.
Be happy.
Due to the outcome of this morning's case, he's been stripped of his authority.
Good, that took him long enough.
Although I would have liked to strip the skin off his back, but apparently that's undue use of force.
Assault, I think,
An
is also.
An
Yeah,
outcome
torture
that
has
was
been bad. Who knew?
an outcome that was in no small part thanks to the efforts of his own son.
I'm
You have a
helping.
redeem. You back?
Oh, we have a redeem, do we? We do indeed. Whether or not this person wants to actually do it is another question. But...
Mr. Prosecutor!
There you go.
Yay! Thank you.
Thanks, sis.
Eustace.
I'm helping.
So in defending his father, he made the old case file available to us. Sounds like we owe him.
Prosecutor Eustace Winner is busy wrapping things up after the conclusion of the Lagarde trial.
I love how Francisca emphasizes the word prosecutor. Like, that child, that dim-witted child is still a prosecutor, and you're not, Miles Edgeworth.
I like to believe she's proud of him.
Yes.
But he asked to give me fuck.
Take your
But
time.
he asked me to give you a message. Leave Dad and Lagarde to me. You focus on your case over there. I'm sorry, I thought that was like a Cajun sentence for a second. I was like, oh what?
Huh. He's even starting to sound like a prosecutor.
Indeed, he is.
All right.
Alrighty
Now that
then.
we have the case, now that we have the case file, I can recreate the scene. No problem.
Excellent. Let's get started. According to the file, the incident occurred exactly where the plaza is now.
Then what are we waiting for? With me, everybody.
There goes the whole crew.
April 6, 3:25 p.m. Bigger Building Plaza.
All right, Kay. If you could set Mr. Thief in motion.
Edward.
Sure. Looks like there's more than enough here to work with. Where do you want to start?
Good question. Let's see. It seems there was an eyewitness. A freelance journalist by the name of Alf Aldown. I'm trying to work out the
What a
pun.
name.
You may remember another character who has a name that connects to his.
I'm
Rosie
drawing a
Ringer.
blank. Oh.
And
That-
all fall down.
Right. Fair.
Yeah. All Fall Down and Rosie Ringer. Yeah.
Yeah, the fan translation opted for a Jack and Jill sort of thing with them. So
I think Rosie
I-
Ringer was better.
I like Rosie Ringer because like Rosie Ringer also works on its own. Because in the fan translation she's Jill Crane, which like that's a name.
Yeah, isn't
You
it?
can't really say much more than that. But yeah.
Okay. But apparently, he was killed by the culprit for witnessing the kidnapping.
So this is where he saw it all happen, huh?
Here, as in the big building.
No, construction of the big building only began a year ago. Before that, it had been a piece of abandoned property. And before that...
Now we're getting the stuff I know. 12 years ago, this place would have been the happy family home. Or gifted junctures.
Nope.
Like, for retired people?
No, it was a place for children without parents.
That does sound like the X-Mention, yeah.
Yeah.
An orphanage, in other words.
The president was kidnapped from an orphanage?
Yeah, and the place was run by Fifi Lagarde.
He was a little orphan child back then.
Wait, she was managing an orphanage?
Concerning.
Terrible idea.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So called it her happy little home.
I'm sure it wasn't very happy.
I'm
I mean-
cringing.
That's what she called the prison, didn't
That
she?
is what she called the prison.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
What?
prison,
As
orphanage,
that-
same difference.
And like as that is said, you just hear like echoing across the way. You just hear, "My happy family home, home."
Now I'm just getting Oliver Twist vibes, honestly.
Well, please, Mr. Feith, can we have some evidence?
As the proprietor of the institution, I suppose it's understandable that she came under suspicion.
President Wang, Excelsius winner, and Warden Lagarde? Surely the SS5 incident must be related to our current case. Kay,
You think?
could you enter the data relating to the murder of Mr. Aldown? It seems sensible to assume that he was killed by whoever kidnapped the president.
So if we solve the murder, we solve the kidnapping. Nice.
All right, we're counting on you.
I got this.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah, but which one of them is the leader?
Also, Drifting, I'm sending you an image of a bird. You need to see this bird.
Okay.
Yeah. What the heck is this?
This is what we call virtual. It's what we call virtual reality, kiddo.
When did I grow to
Notice
become...
this.
Go on.
As I notice, this backpack is also filled with milk.
Yeah, yes, I do love that.
Yeah. Also, actually, this is augmented reality.
Oh, you're no fun at parties, mon ami.
He's very fun at parties.
He's
You
very,
sure?
very fun at parties. Actually.
When did I become... When I grow, become so blasé towards people's reactions to Mr. Thief? What we're seeing here is the front yard of the orphanage as it was 12 years ago. At least as far as the police reports describe it.
Yeah, this is how it looked when they started investigating at 7 a.m. the morning after the murder.
And it seems it had been snowing.
Yeah. From what I heard, the footprints wound up being pretty important evidence. The snow fell in the daytime the previous day.
In other words, before the incident occurred. Meaning that none of the relevant footprints would have been obscured by new snow. I think we'll need to pay these footprints some special attention.
Begin investigation.
The game was afoot. And now, afoot.
Now a foot's a game.
These footprints stopped by the body.
I guess that means they belong to Mr. Alldown, right? His feet were pretty big. What's that? About a size 12? Why does Kay know shoe size? Kay, I
Why
love
not?
you.
She's a thief.
She's a thief, yeah.
I do,
Gavin
like,
never needed to know
girl
shoes.
after my own heart. Girl who knows random shit because it's part of her special interest. Anyway. According to the file, they were the same size as his shoes. It's a match.
To be fair, she says approximately. She could be like thinking like, well, they're just a little bit bigger than gummies, and gummies is 11, so maybe it's just, well, you know, that's what I'm thinking.
That would make the most sense. Yes.
I can believe that, yeah.
See, I was just thinking if anyone has like a shoe or a footprint for like a vault door, she knows how to mimic that.
Ulf Aldown, the man who witnessed the president's kidnapping. But what exactly did he see?
May
I
I
based
just make
this
a-
part of the
Go ahead. I just wanted to
Bas-
make a remark that. Sorry, no, I'm checking.
No, you go.
Finish your thought, but
Just
then we'll
wanted
go
to
on.
remark that he's clearly wearing shoes that are too big for him. You can see that on the picture.
Yeah, there's definitely a heel gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a pretty big heel gap.
Yeah, so
It,
but who would steal his shoes?
What about
the
why
person
would
who
they
made
steal
those
shoes?
tracks put his shoes on the dead body.
Yeah, but that means that they arrived with size too big shoes. So why? Anyway, we're getting caught in the weeds.
No, they put.
We'll figure it out. It might not
Yeah.
be a clue. I don't know if that's actually a clue or not, or that might be it, because that might be a weirdness artifacting of the the drawing being, the recreation. So.
I'm following on
Was
my
it-
own clues to my own investigation. Bye bye.
He's having fun.
I'm glad he's having fun. Anyway, I based this part of the recreation on one of the crime scene photos.
It seems he suffered a blow to the back of the head.
Yeah, from that brick right there. They figured it must have been taken from here in the yard. What I'm saying is I don't think the shoes are actually supposed to be too big for him. I think that's just a drawing thing.
It looks like the blood flowed from the head wound and spread over the surrounding area.
To be fair, to protect this artist, whoever drew the shoes, shoes are hard, feet are hard.
Oh, yeah,
And-
shoes are hard.
Yeah.
Feet are hard.
Fucking feet are the worst
Mhm.
in the world. Anatomical nightmares.
Yes, that and hands. Yeah.
Hands are slightly easier for me, but they're still a bit. Ugh.
Here, a gift for you. This is Mr. Aldown's autopsy report. I love that he apparently just gave her the entire file, so she's giving him the individual pieces.
Yeah, it's like.
Also, the way that was written, I just imagined it. Here, have the autopsy report, freshly updated.
Ooh, freshly updated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly, freshly updated.
Mr. Aldown's autopsy report data jotted down on my organizer. I must scour the scene and inspect everything that catches my attention.
See?
Every suspicious nook and cranny,
believe
one
you're
might
not-
say.
Yeah! They changed it for the second game, and I'm so pissed about it.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I need a break.
Alf Aldown, freelance journalist, killed after witnessing the kidnapping of President Wang.
Even in the recreation, it's pretty gruesome, huh?
Yeah, head wounds bleed a heck.
It's even worse than the
Yeah.
actual crime scene photos. That's a lot of blood.
Is that because the veins are close to the skin?
Yes, there's a lot of capillaries in the head. That's why head wounds bleed an awful lot.
Yeah.
It seems mostly to have come from the back of his head. As you can see, that area is completely caked.
Yeah, the autopsy report says that's where he was hit with the brick. Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
Okay,
indeed. I imagine his attacker must have snuck up on him from behind. It looks as though he's clutching something in his right hand.
His
Yeah,
pearls.
my friend is in chat. We got a hi.
A
Hey,
crumpled piece of paper with Maya written on it.
It fucking would.
Hello, Dolus.
Yeah. Hello.
That's
Hey,
my friend
hello.
Dee.
Also,
She's
Shadow,
delightful.
Shadow, may I ask you a professional question as the resident medic of our merry group? When a person has a hit on the head like this and falls face down, wouldn't there be a clot created much quicker, pretty quickly before a spill of blood is this big?
No, because so much is going on. Because you've got to remember also the blood is under pressure, especially in the head. So it would flow quicker than the blood's got time to clot. That's why you often need to put something on a head wound.
With pressure, I
But,
see.
Yeah, and also
Thank you.
if this guy's fallen over and he hasn't caught himself with his hands like you would naturally do, if he just went and hit himself square in the face, he's also got nasal fractures and a lot more damage as well, which is also now bleeding.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, we don't see his face, so it is very possible he has nasal fractures as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also have a question. Would the cold do anything to the blood?
It's slow. It does have an effect. It would it kind of
And make it
freezes
chilly.
and preserves it for longer, but it can degrade the DNA slight. It does have preservative. It does have preservative effects, but you do have to be careful because after a while the ice crystals will start to break down the DNA as well. Heat does it quicker, but you know, cold still has an impact.
Dolus says, I love this professional insight into the AA games. Well, that's our medical
Yeah, so
professional
do
for you.
we.
I am not. I'm just gonna point out I am not a doctor. I have a Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Sciences, so I know the theory. I know the practical sort of skills. Well, I know about the practical stuff. I work. in
I mean,
hospitals.
look, you are far.
You're the closest-
better
yeah.
at Sorry.
Yeah.
You are far better at medical stuff than us, but also you're far better at medical stuff than ace attorney lawyers are at law.
Don't
True.
start.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
like the autopsy report, please.
Especially those with hit with protagonist syndrome. Anyway.
Sure, autopsy report.
oh.
Right, so you read the line, Kay, and then we'll go to the autopsy report.
Oh, yeah. They mentioned that in the file somewhere. Let's see.
Autopsy report.
To the autopsy report.
Nope. It's the
Ah.
one at the yeah.
There we go. Alf Aldown, age 31, believed to have been murdered during a call where he was detailing something he had witnessed. Time of death, February 10th at approximately 1 a.m. 12 years ago. Cause of death, loss of blood resulting from a blow to the back of the head with a brick.
Now that's interesting.
Go on.
Because usually when somebody dies to a blow to a head, it's because of a bleed on the brain, or it's because of a bleed on the brain. This, well, it's not being specific about it, so it still could be a bleed on the brain, but this implies to me that the person has died from shock, from losing blood.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Which is actually different, which is a different way to die, kind of thing.
There is one thing that I have to say, and I'm sorry in advance, Shadow, because you hate it. But I feel this is another of the Ace Attorney bullshittery, like the bone breakage.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is possibly, but
Here's
But the thing is, this is a different meaning to died from a bleed on the brain, and I'm pretty sure they've used bleed on the brain or something.
They haven't used bleed on the brain, however, they have had an instant death from blow to the head, which was what happened initially with Mia, and then they, autopsy report. It is believed the victim could have survived for a brief period after being hit on the head. They never necessarily use the word bleed on the brain, but I believe that is more so implied with Mia's death. Yeah. Gruesome.
No problem. Page 2 is just the picture.
Yeah.
Yes, I can finally get rid of these fucking stickers.
And D says, I mean, you're just musing on the biology of the crime scenes. You're not practicing any medicine, so I'd say you're pretty qualified.
Yeah, I can't prescribe, most of my medical stuff is I think it's this, but please go see a doctor.
Okay. According to this, it was a button.
A button? Torn from the attacker's clothing, perhaps? Bloody button data jotted down on my organizer.
Now we go as a bloody button.
Let's have a look at
What is his?
the
So that
camera.
could either be blood splatter or just
Let's have a look at what the camera has to say.
oh, shame.
So the victim was carrying a camera.
Oh yeah, according to the file, they recovered a picture. Yeah, here we are. They just handed her the whole file, didn't they? That's awesome.
He's got a gun.
That's
Sorry.
Gregory Edgeworth.
It looks like your dad, Miles.
awkward.
Somebody being mysterious, I promise. Also, I think the pants are the wrong color. For Gregory.
The killer's clearly gone to the first mysterious killers department. At the
Yes.
at the
He put on
tailors.
different pants so that people don't recognize him because he's going to kill someone.
Let's go on. That is
Also,
the.
we know where the button is coming from.
Let's go on. That's the look that killers have, isn't it? The trench coat, the hat.
Yeah,
you know.
that's the most traditional fucking mysterious killer look I've ever seen. 0 out of 10, beginner.
Anyway,
Okay. It's the president, right?
and somebody's pointing a gun at him. This must be what Mr. Aldown witnessed.
Oh, they're right there.
So, the person in the trench coat is presumably the kidnapper.
Yes, I imagine they were trying to conceal their identity. But if Agent Lang's father's theory was correct, the person wearing that trench coat is Warden Lagarde.
How come they only found the one picture?
He probably wasn't able to take any more before he was attacked.
Also, how come did they find a picture? What kind of criminal kills the witness but does not erase the photos?
Thinking, why wouldn't you take the fucking camera?
Yeah.
And the phone.
Not
We're
just
in
that.
an Ace Attorney game.
Yeah, not just that. To be fair, I think that's kind of the point, because don't forget, Mr. Aldan was attacked from behind. How could he be attacked from behind when he literally was taking a picture of the fucking killer? So
Come
that's...
on, Elle, you've played enough.
You've
Hitman
spotted
to know
a
how it works.
contradiction.
It's a homing break.
Oh, of course.
That's a whole
They may
thing.
not have taken the camera or the phone, because then they have evidence that links them to the scene and the person who was killed, also fingerprints.
True.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
also true.
also-
Brick can mean only one thing.
Also, it's
Agent
possible the picture was
47.
staged. Here's another one.
And it could have been.
Yeah, but
Because
Yeah.
we had theories before about what if a president done it. It could be staged.
True.
yeah, I think the presence of the phone and the camera will be one of the proofs that this whole thing we are thinking about this the wrong way.
I do.
We have to turn our thinking around.
Yeah, and put the case on its head.
Yes. Sorry. Go ahead, Shadow.
I was just also going to say, I did notice that the snowman had a chunk taken out of it.
I noticed that as well.
Yeah, that's where the button would be.
A chunk out, or the I saw it. I saw like a handprint on the face. And
Yeah,
because
like
what-
somebody
chunk
somebody
taken out of it,
grabbed
Yeah.
and clawed.
Yeah.
Usually the snowman eyes are made out of coal, but I think this one had eyes made out of buttons.
Possibly.
Buttons are more traditional in now that we don't have coal on hand. At least here in America.
That's true.
But more you know. We don't have coal on hand.
Yeah. This was the brick used in the murder. Found by Aldan's body. Did it come from somewhere nearby?
Do y'all have coal on hand?
No?
Yes.
I don't.
No.
You do?
Well,
What?
well, coal is still sold in some places, like big bags of it.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
see it as often as you don't see it as often as you usually do, but you can buy coal in bags if you've still got a coal fire.
Yes.
In
And
my
presumably
parents'
use it
neighborhood,
for snowmen.
in my parents' neighborhood, there's quite a few people that still have coal stoves at their homes.
Yeah, quite a few
what-
where
that
I
makes
live.
sense.
Burned.
What I do have nearby is like stuff to put inside a barbecue. So
Yeah, but
kind of
Yeah.
Chuckle.
yeah,
Yes.
charcoal. But
Yeah.
also, if you don't have coal on hand, we usually make the eyes of snowmen out of the rocks that we found on the on the side of the
you
road.
rock
Yeah,
now.
Sam.
Yeah. My mom would have whooped my ass if I went stealing buttons for a snowman.
So to be fair, you can like buy a bunch at like craft stores and stuff here. So
Yeah, but pebbles are
Counterpoint,
for free.
We're talking about Soviet Poland.
And we're talking about children.
pebbles are for free. Yeah, that's another good point. Pebbles are for free. I do yeah, like generally yeah, pebbles, but I've seen buttons in my life. Snowmen, the crafting thereof with Saturday Silly Voice.
It's an important cultural discussion to have.
Yeah.
Cultural exchange.
We have
Yes.
we have approximate knowledge on a great many things.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean honestly, if we put our heads together, we can figure out a lot of shit. Anyway, we can even figure out Ace Attorney. Anyway.
We have a redeemer.
Oh yes.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
So much for snowmen.
There's stuff made of bricks all around the yard here. They probably took it from somewhere nearby, huh?
Okay, so
Look at the flower.
the footprints aren't coming up with anything. However, the flower
Oh yeah,
is.
because we have to look at the footprints outside this zoom in.
Also, I think we have
Someone
a separate.
drop-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
Because that's for later. I think we have a separate prompt on the shoes, after all.
Yeah, we'll get that. Oh, hello, Daisy. You get on with it, Kay.
Doggy.
Someone's dropped a yellow flower here. I think this one symbolizes the desire to steal treasures.
No.
No, we've seen this flower before. Girl.
Also, that's not how flower symbolism works, so no.
Yeah.
Kay, you can't just make these things up. What
Hey,
we
you
can
can't just say shit.
what we can say is that it looks to be different from all the other flowers in the planter.
True.
So what's it doing here?
It's a clue.
What indeed? We should examine the planters too.
What is this, Outer Wilds? What indeed?
I was just thinking that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I remember we used to do that.
What indeed?
I
The
must be
echoes of
right.
that-
Somebody.
Aye.
I must be right. Somebody must have stolen it. It's the stolen treasure, girl.
Kay.
I love you, but no.
K plus.
Baby girl, please.
I think. I think this one might actually symbolize the growing anger of a former prosecutor. You can't
might-
make this shit up. I love you, but no.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Footprints were a key.
Where Fran is sniggering to herself.
Yes.
Footprints were a key part of this case. There was information about the shoes in the file, correct?
Yeah, let's see. They're size 12. Feet were clean, no corn, no athlete's foot. No corns. Yeah. Beige socks,
Yeah,
thermal underwear in the same color. He dressed old guy style.
Oh, cool.
Ryder's socks would really have made that outfit pop.
If I
Okay.
recall correctly, Shadow, you were saying last time something about the coroner would not be involved in this case because this is just too obvious. So why the fuck were they checking his underwear?
Because they would strip him. They have to strip him in order to do the autopsy, darling. You can't do an autopsy on somebody who is clothed.
Well, would they be doing an autopsy in a case like he has a break wound in the
They
head,
do
there's
that
a
in
break
murders.
nearby?
They have to do it in murder cases.
Yeah, because you never know if what you see is obvious, it's not what's actually there.
Mm.
Is that?
Yeah, the time that they don't do autopsies, like for instance in a hospital, is if the death is expected, kind of thing, where it's like, oh yeah, this person died from like being on the plane or whatever. The only time they do an autopsy is if like the person's come in with like a cough, and then suddenly they've deteriorated and died, and the doctors are like, what the fuck, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
I see.
why.
Okay.
That's why you get cases where you get like a string of patients dying from like seemingly normal conditions, and then later somebody goes, wait a minute, this is suspicious, and then you get the whole story of like, oh yeah, this is nurse poisoning
Yeah,
people.
sorry, I just went with an assumption that there's a dead body with a hole in his head. Next to it is a bloody brick. So it's kind of an expected case of death.
The thing is that
Well,
the
yes, but that's deceptive.
Yeah, if the death is suspicious, they do an autopsy. That's the best way to do it. If it's expected, less so. Then the family has to actually ask for an autopsy. But if the death is suspicious, an autopsy is done, like without.
and I imagine in a murder it would be done anyway because
Okay.
yes, and I guess the reason for that, not thinking medically, thinking logically, is that there's nothing to say that injury was done post death to obfuscate the actual cause of death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, you're
Yeah, and
right.
also they would need to check tissue samples and blood samples to for any like extenuating circumstances like
Mm.
medical issues, other drugs in the system, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But also just you
Okay.
can't assume that what you see right here on this picture is how this actually happened. That's
Yeah,
why they
because remember
get so
a
thorough
lot.
about it.
Yeah, because remember that also some murderers will stage the scene
Yeah.
to look. That's how insurance fraud is also
Yeah, true.
done, where people are staged to have like accidental things, but they're actually moided.
Not accidental.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryder's socks would really have made that outfit pop. Why not live a little?
I
I think
agree.
it's too
Quick
late for
disclaimer: I know that kind of stuff because I watch a lot of crime shows.
Yes, me too.
that. Also, I think it's too late for Mr. Oldham to live a little.
Yeah.
True.
He's 12 years dead. And that's it for the fashion rundown. Shout out to whoever left these amazing Sorry, I need a second. That's clearly written so much more recently than like the previous game was written. That's so modern lingo. I love it so much. Shout out to whoever left these amazingly helpful comments.
And here I thought it was going to be a plain old investigation report.
It never is, Miles. It never is.
This cell phone must have belonged to the victim. It's a Nokia. I'm surprised this wasn't the murder weapon.
You're right. Yeah, it says here in the file that Mr. Alldown made a call while he was watching the kidnapping.
I have a theory, Kay. These things say they're hard as bricks. You think this could be the actual murder weapon?
Yeah, and Nokia would have sucked up all the blood and used it to recharge itself.
No. No, the first attack was the Nokia, and then the brick was to finish him off.
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
Because remember, the first strike is always bloodless. It is always the second and and subsequent strikes that happen.
Interesting.
Also, I'll give you a line, Kay. There you go.
Says here in the file that Mr. Alldown made a call while he was watching the kidnapping.
I will also point out, I know these things because of crime shows and like more shows. I just in case people were starting to become slightly concerned.
I mean, you are a medical expert, and yes, I've been known you to watch watch quite a lot of Casual Criminals. You got me onto that show, so yeah. Anyway, a call to whom?
His girlfriend. Seems he called her when he saw that the president was there.
Also, Shadow
She
and I are
didn't pick
fanfic
up.
writers,
left a message.
so our search history is weird anyway.
Fair enough. Do you want to repeat the line quickly, Div?
But she didn't pick up, so we left a message.
That's in here too, if you want to hear it.
Please. Who wants to do the voice of Mr. Alldown?
I mean, Mist hasn't had a lot to do today.
Mist, you've been volunteered.
Yeah, use that voice.
Hey, Rosie, it's me. I guess you're asleep already.
I mean, that is how he looks. He looks like he'd have that
Perfect,
voice.
yeah.
Kind of a nerdy voice, yeah.
Somewhere
Anyway.
between that and Kim Kitsuragi.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I'm here at the orphanage. Something's weird going on. President Wang is here for some reason, and there's another... damn it, lights out, so I can't quite see, but... It looked like he was being, kidnapped? Anyway, oof!
Anyway, perishes on the spot.
What were those sounds at the end?
He must have been attacked while he was on the phone.
Agent Lang, can I ask you something?
I don't know,
Mr.
can you?
Alldown's girlfriend. Mr. Alldown's girlfriend. What was her name?
Ringer. Rosie Ringer. At least that's what I heard.
Here we go.
Ah! Just as I thought.
Wait, you mean...
Her revenge for what happened 12 years ago.
All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction.
So she really was out for revenge on Chairman Winner, wasn't she?
Perhaps it was for his suppression of the kidnapping. Or perhaps it was because she thought he was one of the kidnappers at all. Mr. Alldown's final call data jotted down on my organizer. Don't you think this is all just a bit too convenient, Kay?
It's pretty convenient, yeah. I think we need to go out and look at the footprints.
There's a snowbird.
A snowbird?
Yeah, at the top of the garden.
These footprints go towards the body and come back.
According to the case file, they're thought to be the killers. They're about a size 9. Pretty average, in other words. Apparently, it says here.
Yeah.
It seems the police weren't able to track down who the murderer was from them, though. Because they're just a shoe size, yeah.
Yeah.
If we go up...
There is limited
Snowbird.
ability to
Snowbird.
track, there's limited ability to track like tread prints, but it's difficult. If they don't have anything like really unique to them, and if they're a common brand, you're a bit shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Oh, we can look at the planters.
These planters.
According to the case file, the yard stretched around 3 sides of the orphanage.
The police are coming.
And there were
Like
3
it's the
planters
roses.
on each side.
We are the roses.
Yes. Planters arranged within a very particular pattern. One we've seen somewhere before.
Shame there aren't many flowers. But I guess it was the middle of winter.
Dola says, hey, that's my shoe size. That's my shoe size as well. I didn't kill him.
Where were you on the
Tell
9th
me
of
my shoe
February
size, I have a 12 wide.
2007? You bet.
I didn't kill him. I have people for that.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh dear.
Yes.
I mean, there are assassins in this game. There's 2 of them.
I have size 12, but I didn't die and I didn't call any girlfriend.
I have size. Well, one of my feet is a size 4.5, and the other one is a size 5.
Then you're not in this case at all.
Yay!
It also reminds me of that Mulaney joke of like, well, I had an alibi. I was in Wisconsin at 12. Oh God.
Hello?
Everything all right? Everything okay? Burr?
Is everything alright?
I hear Burr saying stuff.
Hello?
Hello, Burr, everything all right?
Hello?
You okay?
Yeah, I just had to say my kitty.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yes.
is
Yeah,
he
one of
okay?
the shells. One of the
Ooh.
shells on the catwalk just fell down.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Aww.
And now Chaka's investigating the crime scene.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's 2 crimes.
She's inspecting every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
Yeah,
Yay!
she's literally biting at the screws around there.
Oh no.
She's fine. She's perfectly fine.
She's fine. Yes.
She's fine, yeah.
But look
It's
at that.
fine. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Yes, but look at that one. It's bright yellow.
Weird. How come there's only one? Wait, it looks like somebody dropped it. Aha!
You're being summoned, Shadow.
Oh, let me just get these things out of the bag. And
That's fine. I just didn't know whether you realised it.
I hadn't realised. No.
I think we've
When
talked
when I'm
about.
looking down, I'm not looking at the screen.
Ace a kitty, says Dolus.
Yes. Ace a kitty.
That's a lion lily, if I'm not very much mistaken. A rare member of the family Lysini. Lilius.
A lion lily, you say?
Wait! Didn't Judge Gavel give President Wong some lion lilies?
What is the
I'm
same...
still pronouncing his name the fan translation way.
It's fine.
Anyway.
What is the same flower doing here? This can't be a coincidence, can it?
Being a clue. I believe this particular cultivar is from Asia, where it's said to symbolize the bond between parent and child.
I wasn't aware you were so knowledgeable when it comes to flowers, Franziska.
What I just told you is common knowledge. Perhaps you just need to read a little more.
Get his ass. Also, God, it's like you knew so much about flowers,
I know, it's
Franziska.
like calling an assault.
You're fucking. Phoenix knows 3 flowers, and he knows sunflowers. I think it's tulips and roses, and like that's it. He doesn't recognize any other fucking flowers. So like, if anybody needs to learn more about flowers, it's Phoenix. Goddamn right.
He's not here right now, is he?
I think
I mean, they both need to learn more about flowers.
I think these are linked. Look at the shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's what our monstrous hoof prints really were.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Recall the arrangement of the prints. Now compare it to that of the planters.
Bro, I would not have been able to work this out myself.
Whoa!
That's right. I believe the footprints are located exactly where our planters once stood.
Bruh.
So Chairman Winter was
Makes sense.
digging around the front of them?
He was. And why might he have been doing that?
Because there's something under there.
A real murder weapon was hidden somewhere there.
We have a piece of evidence in our possession that answers exactly that question. Which piece of evidence shows why Chairman Winner might have been digging in front of the planters?
He's a weirdo who likes to do that.
I mean,
He's a doc.
Yes, but apart from that,
yeah,
Diggy diggy hole.
He's a
no,
weirdo.
Chairman Winner's not a dwarf.
Digging hole.
what are the details of this?
Wow.
Oh,
Jeez.
I thought I remember
It
seeing
must be
this.
that.
Yes,
Back
it's
as we
this.
laid to rest 12 years ago. Yes.
Oh, is it the flower?
I don't know what it is, but it's something related to it.
So.
Take
I
that.
think it's a murder weapon.
Recall, if you will, the report that Warden Lagarde sent to Chairman Winner. In it, she mentioned something that had been laid to rest in front of a planter.
You think she was telling him where to dig? Wait, but why 3 holes?
Because he didn't know which planter.
Because the report didn't.
Because he's bad at his job.
Because the report didn't specify which the planter she meant.
Jesus Christ.
I get it. So he wasn't sure which one it was.
Exactly.
Which meant he had to try and dig up all 3.
I imagine so. Yes. Poor Chairman Winner.
Oh, and indeed, Lamau.
Deserved karma.
But why go to all that trouble? What was he
Because-
looking for?
Who knows?
Incriminating evidence.
Probably.
It's a porch swing with an elephant's face on it. And behind it is what appears to be a motor.
You know what every dedicated swing fiend always wonders, don't you?
Hmm.
They can swing all the way over the top and back again.
Yeah.
Without dying?
Maybe a
Good.
motorized swing could finally make that dream come true.
It is possible. You just have to have a lot of. You have to have a lot of.
Momentum?
You have to have like the. You have to have like. You can't do it on like the loose swings. You have to have the chain ones which are stiff, and then you need to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here-
also the
Done.
attachments at the top of the swing must allow it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got to be a rigid pole strength swing, hopefully.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be a little dangerous?
And what dream isn't, huh? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Also, Edgeworth, remember who you're talking to.
Yeah.
This is how she dies.
True, but hardly applicable in this case.
Also, is that not phony fanty?
No.
No.
Phony
Oh.
Panty was premiered after the Dark Age of the Law, which hasn't technically started yet. Because
Yes.
Phoenix has not been disbarred, nor has the what was the name of the it wasn't the IS-7 incident. What was the name of the
I can't recall.
the Athena incident?
I can't recall. It's so
Whatever.
long.
When Mommy Athena died, when Mommy Metis died,
I don't
that
know.
was the second part of the Dark Age of the Law.
You are one.
UR1, thank you. The UR1 incident hasn't happened yet because that happens in 2020.
There are burn marks on this pillar here.
And we're still in 2019. Pre-April, because April 2019 is when Phoenix gets barred.
And also,
part
we're
one of Dark Age of the Law
Also, we're
started.
recreating a playground from 2007.
Yeah. Yeah, also it's 2007. I forgot about that part too. That's important.
That's fine.
The report says there was a fire sometime on the evening of the incident.
A fire?
Let's see, where was it again? Aha! Yeah! One of the orphans set a fire with some kerosene. That seems dangerous. Some sort of prank, probably.
Prank? Oh, this is where Miranda was living then.
They sound like a lively bunch. Probably too lively.
Brother, I crave
But
arson.
that's before YouTube. Why would they do that?
It seems their antics spoiled our chances of finding any footprints near the entrance of the building.
Technically speaking, YouTube was in 2005. So, 2 years of YouTube.
Fire
I
dating.
will
Yeah, but in
just say,
2000.
Yeah, shut up.
living in care creates some interesting people.
It does, yeah. Fire data jotted down and
They're
organized.
doing it in like in 360p in the early days of YouTube.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
We
also.
lost
From the
Lemming.
from their Blackberries or
Oh,
whatever.
no.
It was. Maybe not
Oh,
the
no.
Blackberries or whatever.
His PC might have refused to cooperate again.
This PC's like, do you know what? Would you know what would be really funny if I did a restart like right now?
Let's see if Lang's got more info.
What if I just?
No.
3 planters covered it with snow.
Is anything the matter, Agent Lang?
Yeah, something's not right. I wasn't able to look at the case file until now.
Indeed. You have Chairman Winner to thank for that, it seems.
Yeah. But what's weird is I've seen this scene somewhere before.
What?
Where? I keep thinking I've got it, but then it's gone.
He appears to be lost in his efforts to remember. Perhaps I should leave him alone for now. I think that's about all we can learn from the scene for now.
You want from
All right. How about I try to show you how things looked earlier on that night?
That would be very much appreciated. Could you take us back to the moment at which the victim witnessed the kidnapping?
Sure. I'll use the photograph he took. Here goes nothing.
Recalculating,
Beep, beep.
reconstructing.
There's Mr. Aldown in the middle of the planters.
Fleming, I'm surprised you didn't use the sound effect that you also
Didn't
have
have
in
enough time.
reverse.
And now there's the president and his kidnapper out by the road.
Hi, Lewis.
Diddly-dee-dee.
My father based his investigation on the evidence Aldown did. Oh my god. That's why. Oh my god, I can't speak right now. That was why he thought the kidnapping and the orphanage were connected somehow.
And how he wound up suspecting Fifi Lagarde. She was the one running the orphanage at the time.
Exactly. When the case went to trial, Excelsius Winner put a big hole in that theory.
He did.
It sure doesn't.
After all, the president and the kidnapper were never actually on the grounds of the orphanage. It was hard to conclusively prove any kind of connection.
What the fuck? They
Huh.
were not on the grounds. They were literally a meter away from the grounds. So there's no conclusive.
The thing is, they could have just been met. They could have just met there. Doesn't mean they're connected to the place. Yeah.
That's some kind of rules lawyery bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I can see the
once,
logic
Ace
in it.
Attorney is right
I
about
like
that.
his lawyers, but like,
Yeah, I mean, also that's literally what the winner would use. Lawyery bullshit.
Yeah. Anyway, so they were never So they were never seen inside the gates of the orphanage.
Takes a buster cut to find evidence on this scene. And then prosecutors come along and twist it for their own ends. Winner and Lagarde were working together. They had some kind of deal. I'm sure of it.
So you're saying that Chairman Winner was working with the kidnapper? Yeah.
you know, now I really understand why Lang just like prosecutors after this. Like, oh yeah, makes total
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Your father was
They
convinced.
ruined his life.
Your father was convinced that Lagarde was the culprit, correct? And you say he was a gifted and thorough investigator? Then he must have had more to support his theory than just Mr. Aldown's message, surely.
Yeah, he must have. I just don't know what it was. It wasn't exactly a case he liked talking about.
Agent Lang's father, Dalong Lang.
Long,
Which is-
long
That long-
man. Long.
He's a long boy.
I need to quick say his name. So it basically would mean great dragon, and then Lang being wolf. So great dragon wolf.
Interesting.
Do you
Shut
know?
up.
You know.
Do you know what the names are in original?
It's well, the one I'm translating is the original, which is hang on, long line. The one I'm translating is the original, but I'm pulling up the original. Daryu Ro, his Japanese family name being Ro, meaning wolf, and then his given name Daryu, great dragon, and his English name is derived from the Chinese reading of his Japanese name.
Yeah.
So Da Long,
Thank you.
and then Lang being
Trusted ally and confident of President Wang. He discovered truths that were subsequently suppressed by Chairman Winner. Our first priority should be to find out what they were. And we just got some new links. I'm going to connect some logic.
Yay, logic button.
We know he's connected.
Connect the dots.
If Chairman Winner was involved in President Wang's abduction, then it seems likely that whatever he dug up yesterday had something to do with the kidnapping.
oh, I get it.
You
Sorry,
do?
that makes me think of the JonTron joke. I get it. I don't get it.
You bet I do. We're talking treasure, right? Loot. He must have
Okay.
been digging up the ransom money.
Okay.
The ransom money? $100 million is an awful lot of cash. Burying it would have been a good way to keep it hidden until the heat died down. It certainly seems like a possibility.
Glad you agree.
Once the footprint data updated, I'm an organizer. Money.
Money.
But what about if you
Money.
visualized each that $100 million as like as a handful of rice, and each rice represents like 100. Each little single grain represents like $100,000 or whatnot. That would be like that. You could fit that in a handful. You could hide that.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Let's check out that mysterious snowman.
Yeah.
Hey, that snowman. It was melted in the simulation of the morning after the murder, huh? And that muffler was all wet, and its little button eyes had fallen off.
Indeed. It still looked reasonably healthy at this point, although not entirely. I can see one thing that's missing.
Oh, poor guy. I bet some kid took it as a stupid prank. Not a bad piece of thieving, though. Maybe they had potential.
Why is she like this?
Yeah, Shadow?
The button is the button that Alf was holding in his hand is from the snowman.
Yeah.
It's been soiled with blood.
You think one of the orphans took it? I'm not so sure. In fact, I think it was grabbed by somebody else entirely.
Can you tell us, player?
Deduce. Could this be related to the evidence somehow? I think it is. We found, of course, a bloody button. Eureka! This snowman is missing a certain something, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, his right eye.
A typical big boss. Luckily, we've managed to locate it.
Do you think the snowman is edible?
It's a good question. The button Mr. Alldown was holding.
Anything is edible if you try hard enough.
Anything's edible once.
If you're not a little bitch about it.
True.
Anyway, look at that. It's the same type of button as the other eye and everything.
Buzz Kong was a reference to in Snake Eater, which Delta, the remake's coming out later this year. You can capture animals and eat them to restore your stamina. And if you call up paramedic on the line, Snake will constantly ask. She'll give you a breakdown like what animals are in the area,
Is it edible?
and Snake will ask, "Is it edible?" Much to her dismay.
How's it taste?
Annoyance.
So funny.
Much to her
This is
disgust
why-
and dismay.
This is why I need to get my dad hooked on the Snake Solid Metal Gear fucking games, because he would love that shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, I keep thinking about it because my dad would look so good cosplaying Snake as well. That's the other thing.
Also, you did the reference to Big Boss, El, so
Yeah, well, yeah, I had to.
I
Yeah.
blame you.
Also, is that the Did you read the line, Kat? I didn't know if you did.
Oh
But-
yeah. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. And if we suppose that the button was indeed the snowman's missing eye, that presents something of a contradiction. What does the button contradict?
Where victim was?
Victim's location.
Yeah. The victim was clutching the button, and the button was covered with his blood, which means he must have grabbed it after being attacked. Let's run a little hypothetical, shall we? What if, after being struck, Mr. Alldown lost his balance and reached out to grab something to steady himself? The snowman. The snowman wouldn't have supported him, so he would have grasped the button and continued falling.
I get it. So you're saying that he was near the snowman when he was attacked?
I am. With an arm's reach, too, to be precise. And he's currently nowhere near that close.
Right, but his footprints only go as far as the planter. He never came back this way.
What if they weren't his footprints? I think we need to look at all the prints again.
All right, I'll take us back to the scene when Mr. Alldown's body was found.
Decompiling, current scene, recompiling, new scene.
But the footprints on the left definitely matched up with Mr. Aldown's shoes, right? So what's the deal?
It's almost like there aren't his shoes.
Let's take
But
another
they were
look.
stolen off of his feet.
Let's take another look and see if we can figure it out. Double tap it over to those shoes, Kay.
Why, but I think you're going to be a shoo-in for an investigator.
Yeah. These shoes, as the case file says, they match the footprints, but... Huh? These aren't the victim's
Why are you
shoes.
shooing me away? I have the right to be here.
I'm sure of it.
You're the life and soul of the party, my dear.
What do you mean?
Look at how the laces are tied. Doesn't it look a little strange to you? What's more, they don't appear to fit properly. Victim's shoes data jotted down on my organizer.
So these prints, they go right up to where the victim was found, and they stop right by his feet.
But they didn't actually belong
But they
to
didn't
him.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Was that your line or mine?
no, that was you.
Yeah.
That was you. That was you. I fucked
Cool.
up. So are the prints by his head his? The ones that lead away and come back?
No, I don't think so. They're too small.
So neither set belongs to him? Then how did he get here?
Well, that's
were
easy.
Did he drop from the sky?
That's easy enough. He didn't walk. He was carried by the killer.
I mean, he resembles Mr. Bean, but he didn't fall from the sky.
So then, where did the murder take place? Was it really over by the snowman, as we suspect? Well, the plot
You're like-
thickens.
You're like, well, how did he get here? Letting the days go by, letting the water hold me down.
Down that the days go by, water flowing
Water flowing
underground.
underground.
I think Mr. Aldown's body was moved. How else do we explain the button clutched in his hand? And that would suggest he was killed somewhere near the snowman. I better take a closer look.
Do you wanna build a snowman?
Not with my head.
Do you wanna melt? Do you wanna
Well,
melt a
would you
snowman?
look at that?
He's so
Oh,
sad.
it's a brick.
Hmm.
Remember, kids, you see a pile of bricks at a protest. No, you didn't.
No. Also, if you see
Look,
a
there's
pile of
brick
bricks
missing
on
here.
Sorry.
if you see a pile of bricks of a government company, do whatever you want.
What was that, Kay? Repeat that.
Oh, huh? Look, there's a brick missing here.
Oh no, not another brick in the wall.
Oh, the rest of the brickwork looks fine. Strange that just this one is missing. Well, let's connect
Yeah,
some
Are you
What
dots.
is
logicking
he?
what I'm logicking?
No. Take over the world.
Of course.
Of course. It seems quite likely that the missing brick was the one used in the murder, wouldn't you say?
Precisely.
Consider it. If this game is implying that this brick was just like plucked away from that like a Lego brick, that's very poor design. Brick should be firmly stuck.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's a brick construction, not brick and mortar construction.
Ace Attorney Plus. Let people be good at their jobs for once.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it, they're the exact same shape and size.
And what if we connect these two then?
I'm just going to assume it's a Lego brick for my own peace of mind.
I think we have to conclude that the murder actually happened over by the snowman.
Get in the hole, damn.
Right. The button came from there and the brick too.
Indeed. And what's more, if the murderer took the brick from right by the snowman and then tried to sneak up on the victim all the way over by the planters,
Mr. Aldown would have seen them right away.
Exactly. I think we need to update the simulation, Kay. Mr. Aldown wasn't standing by the planters. He was next to the snowman.
Gotcha. All right, here goes.
Ooh. Huh. That is very interesting.
It was the Blue Men group. I knew it all along.
Oh God.
They were
I knew
always
they was
suspicious.
evil.
Yeah. But is it the right location? Because I thought he was trying to grab the snowman with the left hand.
Yeah. Let's examine. This is a bit of a mess.
Yeah, no matter how you look at it, this just doesn't work, huh?
Indeed. Everybody who was present is in the exactly the same. Oh, fucking
Yeah, except
moron.
these two guys were inside the orphanage.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the picture, can I be competent enough to pull up the picture? No, because I keep pressing the wrong button.
The picture is elusive.
The lamp is it should be the one outside. So what? The lamp is
Yeah.
weird, but the lamp is in the wrong place. It's very unusual. Indeed, everyone who was present is in the exactly the same spot.
So, where did we go wrong?
The
One of
snowman
the-
was moved as well.
One of the pieces of evidence on which we based our simulation must be the source of the problem. What if one of them was faked somehow? But which one was it?
The photo.
It's got to be the photo. Logically, that we were just pointing it out. Take that.
That they have taken the photo after death.
Thus explaining why they left it. Because it's conveniently wrong.
And they have deleted the original photo.
Can we... Thus explaining why they left it in the first place. Okay, yeah. Our argument has now actually been disproven to be actually not stupid after all. Can
Hey,
we...
logic buttons.
Can we really be certain that this picture was taken by Mr. Aldown?
Huh? What do you mean?
We know that whoever killed him moved his body, but why would they have done that? What if they wanted to make it seem like he saw something he didn't?
And then they took the photo to help back up the lie?
They had the president at gunpoint. They could easily have forced him to pose for the picture. Would have no choice but to comply.
Hey, now that you mention it, they only recovered one picture from Mr. Aldown's camera, right?
Indeed. I imagine his killer probably removed the film that was already in there, then replaced it with another, thereby ensuring that the only picture found was the one they staged.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Also, can we take a look at the president's feet? How big they are?
Sure.
No, we can't. I don't think, actually.
We can't actually look at it. We can look at the model. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean he's not on Wiki Feet?
Anyway, so this picture was actually taken after Mr. Aldown was killed. No way.
Mr. Aldown photographed, updated organizer. And there you have it. The picture doesn't show what Mr. Aldown saw at all. It seems highly likely that it was simply staged to make us believe that was the case.
Wait, so where was the president when Mr. Aldown thought he saw him being kidnapped?
Luckily, the photograph isn't the only piece of evidence we can use to try and figure that out.
Oh yeah, he left that voicemail too.
He did. I think we should listen back to it one more time, don't you? This is surely the only place where the president and his kidnapper could have been standing.
on the left. Top
There's
left
another
side,
busted lamp over that side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore, it has to be about where the fire started.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which would have covered up evidence as well.
Yep. It, expertly executed. Recall this statement from Mr. Aldown's voicemail. Damn it, the light's out. 2 of the lights here in the yard are broken.
You must have been talking about the one over by the building.
All right. Could you update the simulation to reflect everything we've learned?
Sure.
Could I?
Like, oh boy, could I?
Could you?
This is a lang line.
And there we have it. The kidnapper was really standing over by the building.
Yes. Which would certainly have strengthened the theory that they were connected to the orphanage.
So they moved the body and staged a photograph to distort the picture painted by the voicemail. Which helped them undermine the idea that the orphanage was involved when they went to trial.
Well, that certainly changes what this particular part of the simulation tells us. I imagine it will also affect our understanding of the scene from when the body was found.
One way to find out. Ready to make the jump?
To switch between the 2 recreations, I need to first press the I to talk with Kay.
The I.
And then select Switch Recreations. I'll give it a try later when I need it. Well, let's just do
we're
it now.
not playing this on Switch.
Ah.
You want me to show you the scene as reported in the police's case files, right? Okay, let's take another look at how things were when they found the body. And there we have it.
Right then. Well, let's take a look at the bloodstain. Would you look at that? Blood on the snow. A lot of it. Certainly looks as if a murder occurred here, doesn't it?
Wait, but we just figured out that Mr. Aldown was killed over by the snowman, right?
We did. I think this blood might belong to somebody else.
What? But the police report said that the blood was Mr. Aldown's.
Need I remind you that the case was overseen by Chairman Winner? That man would have had no scruples about altering the official record over something this small.
True.
But why go to all that trouble? Couldn't he have just cleaned up the blood instead?
He wasn't able to. Think about it. He knew that this was where the police would find Mr. Aldown's body. And he knew that the police would have certain scientific methods at their disposal to look for clues.
Oh, you mean luminol? Yeah, they would have found traces of blood if they'd used that for sure.
Exactly. He wouldn't have been able to clean it up to the point where it was undetectable. Far easier to falsify the results of any such tests when they came back in. It would simply have been a matter of replacing the official results with a doctored copy.
Eesh, so we've been looking at a forgery this whole time? That sucks. Wait, but it says Mr. Aldown's clothes were covered with blood too.
It does, and if they were, which seems entirely believable, it suggests that whoever's blood this is, it wasn't yet dry when Mr. Aldown's body was placed here.
I get it. Which means that the other person's blood was spilt not long before Mr. Aldown was killed.
I think it does, yes. But if that's the case, doesn't that present something of a contradiction? Mysterious bloodstain data jotted down on my organizer. I don't know.
I mean, why did Olddown not say anything about that?
Because he was in the process of getting hit in the head with a brick.
However, we do know that arson was done. There was a fire that clearly was designed to eliminate evidence. Eureka! There's a clear contradiction here.
Huh? In the bloodstain?
The blood is clearly cut off where the snow was melted by the fire, which means that the blood in question was spilt before the fire was started.
Huh? But the fire happened before the murder, no?
If we choose to believe the case file, yes. But if the fire was actually started after what happened here...
Kato later might have seen something.
Then why isn't there a witness statement? Because that would have challenged Chairman Winner's version of events.
We need to... Oh, not me.
Why,
More
Lang?
about this fire.
Why, Lang? Your voice sounded very much like Kay's for a second.
You!
Yes, you.
The fire might have been reported to the police, which means there might be a record of it. Go see if they have anything and bring everything you find back here right away.
Understood, Shifu. I'll get right on it, Shifu.
One more thing.
What is it, Shifu?
Contact my family back in Zhengfa. Tell them to search my father's office. There should be something there related to the case.
There should. What kind of something exactly?
I told you I'd seen this somewhere before, didn't I? Well, I've remembered where. It was in my father's office. He had a picture of it. Or at least, something very much like it.
What?
On his desk.
It looked like it was drawn by a child.
Possibly a child from the orphanage. Possibly even the child who set the fire.
It should still be there somewhere. Tell him to send it right away.
Yes, Shifu.
Complete!
Yay!
Maybe that picture, maybe the drawing is even signed like Eustace, age 5 or something.
No.
All right, before we continue, though, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break because we've gone over a little bit, and we'll be back in the next 5 minutes while we just kind of refresh ourselves, get a drink, because, this is taxing on our voices. We need to kind of keep our voices in good shape. So we'll be back in just a few short minutes, everyone. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. Welcome back. We're basically redoing this scene because, to be fair, if you're behind the scenes, this is the third take. We're doing this because of technical difficulties and issues. Basically, we'll reinsert the scene back in because of there's technical issues when in the transfer. What will happen is this scene will play out and then it will transfer back to the original stream that was recorded. That's why you might hear a few bit of differences in the performances and mic qualities. I can only apologise for that. Without further ado, let's get back into it.
We'll have to wait a moment now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
we're gonna have to wait a moment.
Shifu, I'm back and I brought gift subs.
He's a very efficient man. Your Man in Black.
I know. That's why he works for me.
You are being kind to yourself, aren't you, Miles Edgeworth?
If there's someone who I scarily wish who's scary to hear that from, it's her.
I know where you live.
She does as well.
She's gonna bring a whip next time. Be kind to yourself, Miles Edgeworth, or else.
I have a lightsaber. I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh god.
God, Princess with a lightsaber would be too dangerous. Not allowed.
She would have a light whip. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, she would have a light whip. Yeah.
God, she would make an excellent Sith. Holy shit.
Yes.
She would be the kind of Jedi like Mace Windu, she would have a purple whip, and she would straddle the line between light and dark.
Early plug for anyone interested, the Ace Attorney Investigations 1 playthrough will be going up as of now. If you're watching this video back in the future, you can go check out the classic episodes.
Yay.
Anyway.
Wow.
You can see where Lewis has a gun from.
Yeah. All right,
Finally see
speedrun
the
scene,
meme.
Go. I said speedrun scene. Let's go.
Okay, Shifu, I'm back. I brought everything the police had on the fire, and I also brought a picture from my father's office.
And some subs, apparently.
Are they meatballs?
About time. What kept you, huh? Well, hand it over.
I had to buy the subs for everyone.
Let's take a look at this mysterious picture, shall we?
I love subs.
All I can imagine now is like Burr's character, like it's almost like handling the coffee for the office, but it's just a bunch of subs.
Yeah. They're meatball and Dijon mustard subs.
This is it. This is the picture I remember.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
Full
Thank you.
subs incoming. Get down.
Thank you for the tier one subs drifting. I appreciate it.
Hold on. You're welcome.
Could this be a depiction of something that happened on the night of the incident?
It sure looks like a kid drew it, huh?
Yes. And I'm willing to bet it's the work of the child that set the fire. Child's drawing data. Just have a what? What now? Thank you, Shadow, for sucking.
The evil laughter from the gang. I love it.
What now?
Shifu, there's another sub.
What now? Look, it'll have to wait, okay? Well, Mr. Prosecutor, are you subscribed to Eat Back the Cat? And why do you think my father kept this?
I imagine he acquired it at some point during his investigation, although I have no idea why he would have chosen to keep it himself. Could we see the case file for the fire too?
Sure, here.
Cool, I'm a speed reader. If you would just give me a moment to read this thoroughly.
While it's going, we'll do the request a line from Shadow. Get down, Mr. Prosecutor!
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, don't forget, audience, if you like a certain voice actor, you can request a line from them and get them to say whatever you want within reason. And of course, they have the right to refuse. Don't forget. So don't think you can get them to say any old fucking thing. But yeah.
Wait, I think it's that easy.
Rip it and rip it, baby.
Rip it, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yeah, everyone to say that line. I don't even need to spend points.
It seems
My
the
God,
boy.
he's gamed the system.
He's gained the system. It seems the boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the evening of the incident. And then disappeared several days later.
What? Must have been because he saw something, right?
No, kid? Really? That's horrible.
But sadly, not unimaginable.
Looks like the kid left something behind that was put into evidence. What's this?
That's... What's that doing in this case file?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Have you seen this somewhere before?
Something very much like it, yes. We have a piece of evidence that could well be connected. Which item of evidence relates to the item the boy left behind? As if I need to ask myself after the... Take that. I don't know what it was doing in the evidence for that case, but it looks like that might be the missing horn from this soft toy.
Hey, that was President Wang's.
You've seen it before?
Of course. He always kept it somewhere close by. I remember it because of the missing piece.
I see. It has a special device inside that it plays recorded sound when you twist the horn.
Hey, do you think maybe putting the horn back might unlock more recordings?
You never know. The toy itself should still be up on the 51st floor.
Hey, you heard the man.
Yes, Shifu. I'll go get him right away. I was halfway up the wall.
I wonder if he'll come up with some subs again.
Here it is, Shifu. I had to dodge all the subs on the way, but there's the Torosaurus doll like you asked.
You tempt fate, sir.
Good work. Hand him to the prosecutor over there.
Well, does the hall of the orphanage fit the president's plushie?
I was taking a drink of water. It fits perfectly.
Stay hydrated. And?
Yes.
Any more recordings on there?
It's not worth all the bathroom breaks that I need to take if I do.
Hi, Dijon. Sorry, President Wang. It's me, Emily. I know it's been a while. I saw in the news that you were visiting the country soon. And I didn't know whether I should get in touch at all, but in the end, I decided I had to.
Overruled! Turn it off! Right now!
What's got into Judge Gavell?
Are you okay?
Just turn it off! Please!
You see, I had a baby. A beautiful little boy. Your beautiful little boy. I'm sorry, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you. Oh, except I called him Sean. Sean Fenn. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
No!
Sean Fenn?
The kid.
And also that I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him if you like. Even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's what we'll be. Goodbye.
What? He was my dad? I'm so sorry, Sean.
Care to explain what the H-E-double-L is going on, Gavell?
Sean isn't my biological son. I adopted him.
And he was aware of this?
Yes, of course. His mother, Emily Fenn, she died 5 years ago. We were cousins. But we were also friends. The best of friends. People often mistook us for sisters. And so, when she died, it seemed only natural that Sean should come and live with me. Of course, we had to keep his father's identity secret. And I decided that the best way to do that would be for him never to know in the first place.
That's quite a lot to learn from a recording made on a seemingly innocent toy. I guess Sean's mother must have recorded the message and then sent the plushie to the president.
Hey. Yes, Sean.
You're sure? He was really my dad?
Yes, I'm sure. Before you were born, your mother worked for a time as a diplomat in Shangfa.
It makes sense. That line of work might well have brought her into contact with the president.
What? You told me she worked at the orphanage. She did, but only after she returned. After she quit the diplomatic service. She always loved helping others. The orphanage was perfect for her.
Sorry, Judge Cavell, but I have to ask. Amelie, the lady who asked the president to come. Why didn't she show up herself? Why didn't she show up herself? Why isn't she anywhere in the files related to the SS5 incident?
She never made it to the rendezvous that night. Someone was tailing her.
I'll bet that was Chairman Winner's doing. Though sadly we can't prove it.
And because she couldn't make it, she never saw the president again.
Then she died 5 years ago. This can't be easy for Shulman.
Hey, Sean, are you thirsty? We could go get a soda? Nice treat, okay? Come on. I think I saw a vending machine over.
You think I can't buy myself a soda? This is important. And it's about me. I'm staying.
Oh.
How about milk?
Oh, that didn't work at all.
Nice try, Kay.
You tried.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Sean, perhaps now you can guess why I met with the president 2 nights ago.
So that's it. That was the big secret.
I wanted to tell him face to face that Amelie was gone. But also that you were alive and well. More than well.
It makes sense now. No wonder Judge Gavell was so keen to avoid sharing the details of their meeting.
Yeah, she would have had to share the truth about Sean, too.
That was why I took the lion lilies with me. So there would be no doubt that I knew Amelie, and that I knew her well. These flowers bore a special significance for the 2 of them, you see. President Wang gave Amelie a bouquet of lion lilies in the early days of their romance. But now, he too is dead. If only he had lived. Sean might finally have been able to get to know him.
I think Burr might be assembling.
Miss, take over.
Shifu! I've been waiting for the time to say this, but...
What? What is it? You've been hovering here the whole time. Can't it wait?
They sent something else over from Zhenghua. President Wang's will.
What?
The president's will, huh?
I'm sure this
And
will go
Huffy
so
Puffy.
well.
I think this is a flashback.
Ease.
He gave my father medal after medal. He had to come up with new ones just for him. In the end, there were no medals left to give, so he managed the keepers of his last will and testament. Those medals, that duty, they're our greatest pride, our family jewels. What? This is...
Blank!
What is it, Agent Lang? Does it have anything to do with our current case?
You could say that. Seems he was planning on publicly acknowledging Sean as his son.
Hold it! Sean's name appears in the president's will?
And we're certain that the document is authentic? That President Wang wrote it himself?
Sure we are. It's old, but it's real. My family took charge of it back before the SS5 incident happened. Don't want to analyze it back home to be sure, but I'd stake my name on it being the genuine article.
Wang was a renowned world leader. A child nobody knew about would have been sure to cause a stir. And yet he chose to mention the child in his will nonetheless.
Well, that's that, I guess. I still can't quite believe it, but the president confirmed it with his own hand. There's no denying it. Sean, you're President Wang's son.
Gumshoe trying to figure it all out
Gumshoe's
still.
like, what?
Gumshoe's like, how do you make a baby?
Gumshoe needs a moment.
Did that look like Sean running away for a moment? Because if so,
Yeah.
we're reacting the same way. Yeah. Sean!
Ah,
There he
Sean!
goes.
Ooh,
Well, shit.
Continue.
You made a run.
I am
Right
not
now?
wandering around a place shouting for Sean. That's already been done.
Sean!
Jason!
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 We found him already. Don't worry about it.
April 6, 4:51 p.m. Big building, empty lot.
Sean! He was my dad?
It can't have been easy learning the truth about his father's identity so unexpectedly. And too late to even get to know him.
You know how hard I try to find him? Sean. I get it. He was the president. He had a lot more to think about than just me. But he was right there in front of me. Right there in the set. So why? Why didn't he just say something? Why didn't he tell me who he was?
Would you have believed him?
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, Mom. It's mine.
No, it's
If I
not.
hadn't broken my promise to you, that fight would never happened, and he wouldn't have.
Sweet one.
I ruined everything. Everything. It's all my fault.
Oh, baby.
I even ruined your flowers. Sean. Please. You mustn't blame yourself. Just try to be here with me. Just for a little while.
The bond between parent and child is symbolized by the lion lily.
Sorry, I was just applauding there. My apologies.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was
Really,
amazing.
really good.
Do you want to take that line again, David, without me clapping?
That's fine. The bond between parent and child is symbolized by the lion lily.
Well done, Laura. Well done.
Yeah, you did an amazing job.
Two characters.
Yeah, yeah.
You should do it for two characters.
Both characters
Two
at
characters
once.
at the same time. I was about
Yeah,
to
that was-
mention that. Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay, you heard of the bit where one person talks to themselves. Well, how about Laura cries to herself?
Aw.
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
I'm no expert, but it's native to Zhengfa, so I know that much at least.
Sadly, we don't have the luxury of dwelling on such things just now. I know it might seem insensitive, Agent Lang, but sentimentality won't help us here. We need to focus on what we can do about the case before us.
You're right.
I believe we've learned all we need about what happened back then for now. How do it all line up with your father's theories about the case?
I wouldn't know. He took us to the grave with him. Never shared his thoughts with anybody. There's no way of knowing now what he figured out.
What about your own thoughts? Are you feeling any more positive in light of what we've learned from Kay's reconstruction? Are we any closer to learning what really happened 12 years ago?
You know, I think we might be. My father's footsteps are starting to become clear. Now all we need to do is follow them. All the way to the truth.
Okay, let's consider this.
The president went to the orphanage that night. That much we know for sure. The Torosaurus toy proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Emily Fan. Except he was kidnapped. Uldone allowed it to happen. So was allowed that. And Uldone happened to see it.
I mean, technically,
Exactly.
he did allow it to happen too, in a way.
If Uldone hadn't been there, there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping.
In fairness to him, the other
Instead-
guy had a gun.
Instead, they had to move the body to the planters and stage that photo to throw everybody off the scent.
So that's our current theory, is it? SS5 incident case file updated in my organizer.
But there's something I still don't understand.
There is.
This. Why we're staging the picture? Lord had to force the president to play along. What if he hadn't?
It's a good question. And we may be closer to discovering the answer than we think. We'll just have to get to there one deduction at a time.
Yeah, I guess we will. All right. Deduce away.
Okay. The first thing I noticed was... But there was a murder. That's the thing. We have blood to prove that... And that's too much blood for a little accident. That is a clear... Like, something big happened. Objection!
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Shadow?
Can we just go back to that thing again, please?
Yeah, of course we can.
The blood is not his.
Yep, it's not Eldown's. Yeah. We knew...
So whose is it?
That's the question. Is that something must have happened, other than just a kidnapping? So there's more to it. So something must have happened. You're saying there would have been no murder if Mr. Alden hadn't witnessed the kidnapping, but is that really the case?
Why wouldn't it be? The main aim was to abduct the president, right? If there hadn't been a witness present, they wouldn't have needed to murder anybody.
And yet it remains possible that Mr. Aldown wasn't the only person killed that night. There was a large pool of blood between the planters, but Mr. Aldown was murdered over by the snowman. It can't have belonged to him. What if all that blood by the planters belonged to somebody else?
Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. You do realize what you're saying, don't you?
I do. It's hard to believe. I'll be the first to admit it, but it's what the evidence suggests. Not just one person was killed here 12 years ago, but two.
You're saying they're going up a whole separate murder? But whose? Who else was killed that night?
Whoever covered up this other homicide did so very skillfully indeed. They even seem to have been able to avoid it being mentioned in the files, but they didn't quite get rid of everything. We have a piece of evidence from 12 years ago that never managed to erase. This clearly shows that something else happened that very night. Take that! Excelsior's winner tried to shroud the evidence of the other murder in darkness, but there was one piece of evidence he wasn't able to suppress. Thanks to the efforts of your father, Agent Lang.
My father?
Cast your mind back, if you will. Something else was hidden along with all the other evidence from the crime scene. The existence of the child who set the fire in front of the orphanage. But why would Chairman Winner wish to erase him from the record? Because he saw something he should not have. That's why.
He did? What was it?
It's right here in this picture.
The picture my father kept.
I think we can all agree that's the president on the right-hand side. And that's the Torosaurus toy in his hand. But who's that standing across from him?
Budilihama Canis.
The blind assassin. Eastern robes, a black dog. That can only be Bodhihama Canis.
What? The creepy assassin guy.
And what would a hired killer be doing in the presence of a president? I can only think of one thing. That's right. It wasn't a kidnapping that occurred here 12 years ago. It was an assassination.
And Warden Lagarde and Chairman Winner were...
Yes. I think they were complicit. More than complicit, in fact. One provided the venue for the killing, and the other suppressed the testimony of the child who witnessed it. Mr. Aldown was murdered because what he witnessed was actually an assassination, and not the kidnapping he thought it to be at all.
You think I'm an idiot? How could the person who died 12 years ago? Well, I found his body this morning.
A stand-in.
He was alive and well until just recently.
Yeah, because it was a body double.
A body double.
Yeah, we even met him.
Indeed. So we have a president killer 12 years ago, and a president killed in the last 48 hours. Two presidents, in other words.
Right, which is completely impossible.
Or is it? I think it's entirely possible for there to be two presidents. In fact, that would explain a lot.
But regardless of what happened, I still respected him. Zhengfa may not be a big country, but he held that place together.
The president Agent Lang spoke of was a noble and capable leader. The presidential mask has well and truly slipped. Entirely unlike the man we met. It really did seem as if they were two completely different people. But how could one country have two presidents? What could explain a situation like that? This is how it was possible for there to be two presidents. One of the two was a body double. Tell me that doesn't make sense.
A body double?
President Wang was a man of great power and influence in Zhengfa, a figure on the world stage. There must have been countless attempts on his life over the years, such as the one at Gourd Lake only a few days ago.
It's true. There were more than a few assassination attempts. But that doesn't mean I'm about to accept that there was more than one president. Not without proof.
Do we have any proof that there was more than one president?
Probably. I just don't know what it is.
I mean, this itself proves it. We've proved that he was killed, and then yet there was also a kidnapping. To me, it seems like, yeah. Take that. I don't think he's noticed the contradiction staring him in the face. Or is he just unable to accept it?
What's the matter, Mr. Prosecutor? You're pretty quiet all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, because he was at the embassy until midnight, yet he was also abducted. In Emily Fenn's recording, she asked the president to be at the orphanage at midnight. But it shouldn't have been possible for him to be there at that time. You can go, "Muh."
What?
Did you say? Did you go? I heard "muh" come out of you.
Yeah. No, I said, "Oh, how come?"
Sorry.
Yeah, we just heard.
We just heard "muh."
We just heard much.
That's
weird.
I mean, now it's the law. Now it's canon.
That's canon now. It's K. It's K.
Is busy futzing.
It's K being so curious. She's like,
Yeah, Discord is futzing for me right now. I'm like losing connection.
I did notice that too. Yeah, like your names were lighting up, and like only like a second or two afterwards, I'd actually start hearing.
Yeah, Discord is being an asshole.
Yeah. Because he was supposedly. Because he was supposedly still at the embassy with your father, Agent Lang.
Swear to your ellipses.
So he had noticed. The only way he could have been in two places at once is if there were two of him.
Ow!
Oh, God.
You can't just start a howl.
Yes.
Oh no, you're standing.
Suddenly, all of the dogs in my neighborhood start barking.
Like Malalia.
So the real president, that was the one who
Died 12 years ago. I think it might have been.
But why? And who? Who would have hired Candace to murder the president?
In order to figure that out, we'll need to look again at the piece of evidence we recently discovered was fake. The fake evidence. What was it again? Well, it was the photo, yeah.
Have a meme that summons up this scene perfectly.
The picture taken with Mr. Aldan's camera was staged sometime after his murder, and Mr. Aldan was murdered because he witnessed the president's assassination. In other words, the photograph too must have been taken after the real president's death. So who is the president?
You're talking inside your own head.
Sorry, logically thinking. So loud. So who is the president in the staged photograph? The body double.
I love.
Nothing makes sense.
Sorry, I just want to say I love the idea of Edgeworth talking to himself for a few minutes, and then says the conclusion out loud, and like what do you mean?
The body double. Nothing else makes sense.
Miles, you're talking inside your own head again.
I believe the president's double had him killed so that he could take his place permanently. An Excelsior's winner and FIFA Lagarde helped him do it.
Wait, you don't even have a body to support your theory. You telling me it magically disappeared?
Objection. No. In fact, we know exactly where it wound up. The president's body was here the whole time.
In the Torosaurus speaks.
Take that. Chairman Winner dug something up last night. Something he couldn't trust anybody else to retrieve. We thought it might be the ransom money, but it was actually something even more important.
Bones.
Wait, you mean?
That's right.
Oh, there are bones in that bag.
The real president's body. I think it's highly likely anyway.
What?
The body may have decomposed in the intervening years, but the bones surely would have remained. Mr. Powers informed us that the construction is due to start here sometime soon. Everything had to be wrapped up before then. The shooting of the movie, and the recovery of the president's remains.
Yeah, I guess once they started digging the place up, they would have found them pretty quick, huh?
Agent Lang, we need to have the so-called monster footprints analyzed again.
Yeah, I guess we do. If there was a body under one of them, there should be trace evidence to confirm it. Hey, give me somebody from
Please be Emma.
Can't
Please
be
Emma,
somebody
please
from
Emma, please be Emma.
forensics. Why can't I speak
I'm
today?
a child.
Ah, forensics guy.
Who was forensics guy?
I think it was Mist.
Was it
I
missed?
think it was this.
Sir, presenting the findings for our analysis, sir. Traces of human remains were found in the dirt, along with other signs of the body having been buried.
So it really was him.
Bones were also recovered from the home of Excelsius Winner.
God damn.
The physique looks to be about right, and dental and medical records are a match.
Jesus.
It's him, no doubt about it.
So as suspected, the real President Wang was killed 12 years ago, and the SS5 kidnapping was in fact a homicide. Also, it means that Sean didn't kill his father. Monster footprints data updated in my organizer.
Huh. So it really was a murder, huh? This case has taken so many twists and turns, I'm starting to lose track.
Yes.
I'm gonna say, what kind of emotional whiplash is that?
Yeah, I know, right? Perhaps we should summarize our findings just to
Yeah, like,
confirm. Go on.
So first out, you find out that the president, the guy is the president, who's also your dad. Except this one's not your dad. Your dad is already dead and was dead 12 years ago.
And you just happened to kill his body double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who had your father killed?
Yeah, it's just like what?
You
And
might
the
have
person
killed
who
his
was
father double.
responsible. Yeah,
There's
the
a-
person who was responsible for
Yeah.
death of your father.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some,
like,
there's
this
some,
guy- mesh drawn up, like-
there's
Yeah.
some sort of cosmic karma after that in some weird way. But yeah, messy.
Oh,
Yes.
Sean is gonna be like so fucked up.
He is going to need
Yeah.
therapy.
Sean, yes, yeah, Sean
I'm sure-
now needs and deserves a lot of therapy.
I'm sure Edgeworth has a number. Yes. Perhaps we should summarize our
But surely-
findings.
This is Ace Attorney. No one gets it. This is Ace Attorney. No one gets the therapy.
Yes, perhaps we should summarize.
Sean literally used to be like, yeah.
Yes?
Sean's just basically like, just like crush up my depression pills and put them in my milk. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe he's already doing that.
Let's not get dark.
Also, I have one big concern as well.
Yes?
Why the heck were we standing here for days throwing those hypotheses against one another if forensics has just went to Excelsius's home and just found the bones?
They perhaps didn't not investigate the whole home yet, or maybe there wasn't a thorough search. Like, he could have buried them and no one thought about it or something. I don't know. Regardless,
Well, nobody's checking the bag where he's put the fucking bones.
Well, I would have thought Excelsior probably would have buried the bones, but yes.
I
Yes.
don't think so.
Yes, perhaps we should summarize our findings just to confirm that we understand everything correctly.
Good idea. Let's go over everything from the point where the president arrived at the orphanage.
12 years ago, the real President Wang visited the orphanage. His aim? To meet his infant son. The footprints were originally assumed to be those of Mr. Aldown. Seemed likely to have actually been made by the president upon his arrival. But instead of being greeted by his child, he was met by the assassin, Bodhihama Canis.
So sad. He was hoping to see his baby for the first time, only to...
Indeed. But at least with Mr. Canis, we can be sure the job was swiftly and effectively completed. But then, after the assassination, another tragedy occurred.
Mr. Aldown's murder!
Yes, it seems he witnessed a key moment in the evening's proceedings. The moment when our culprits, the so-called kidnappers, took the president's body around the side of the building. That was the sight that sealed his fate. We've now established that he was standing by the orphanage gates at the time. Far enough away that he believed what he was seeing was the president's abduction. At which point...
Oh, the body double who had come up to meet with his co-conspirators walked right up behind Mr. Aldown.
Leading to our unfortunate eyewitness.
Being murdered by the man who was plotting to replace the president. So it was the body double who moved Mr. Aldown's body too?
Yes, I think it probably was.
But none of the footprints could have been his, could they?
Actually, I think they could. In fact, we have a piece of evidence that proves that how that particular trick was achieved. What shows how the body double managed to move the body without leaving any footprints. What if the president's double moved Mr. Aldown's body like this? After killing Mr. Aldown, he could have carried him to the other side of the entrance. Given that his job was to look just like the president, he would have been wearing the same shoes, meaning that if he had stepped exactly in the footprints left by the real president...
Of course! His would have been the same shape and size. It would have looked like a single set of footprints. So that's how it all went down? I'm so glad we finally figured it out. Wait, but there's one thing I still don't get.
There is? What?
Why did they need to pretend there was a kidnapping?
Mr. Aldown had seen the president at the orphanage and left a message on Miss Ringer's phone describing what he thought he saw. It would have been impossible for the conspirators to erase that message. So they had to make it look as if the events described in the message were true.
By staging a kidnapping like the one he thought he saw.
Exactly. I think the two people in the photograph are likely to be the body double, and Fifi Lagarde.
She's the one in the trench coat? How can you be sure of that?
The two of them would have had to walk out beyond the orphanage gates to stage the photo. The body double could have put his feet in the real president's prints, as he did before.
Oh, so the other set of footprints were hers.
The ones where we originally thought belonged to the killer, yes. They were about a size 9, too small for Chairman Winner, in other words, which means the kidnapper must have been played by Warden Lagarde. And that explains how a so-called kidnapping was actually a presidential assassination.
It does. Nope.
Wrong person.
Which means my father must have.
He must have...
That's on me.
Sorry?
No,
Okay,
it's-
stop reading people's thoughts.
Yeah.
there's no
I
ways
keep
he would have
stealing
suspected
mine.
of murder. Especially now. Especially not with, yeah, my God, especially not with the kid's picture as proof.
But the picture was never officially put into evidence, correct?
No. He appears to have kept hold of it after taking the witness statement of the child who drew it.
Yeah, because he knew. He knew President Wang was dead. And he knew what would happen if that news ever got out.
Zhang Fa would have been plunged into chaos, no doubt.
So he kept it a secret. And that secret died with him. Even though it meant taking the blame for the kidnapping and our family name being ruined.
So your father knew the truth about what happened 12 years ago,
Sorry.
but he chose to hide it. That's you.
Well, finally coming to light at last.
SS5 isn't case file data updated in my organizer. Ooh.
I think it's Canis.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Isn't
you
it?
think?
I
Okay.
suspect
No,
drifting
surely it would be the.
is,
phone.
Shelly the killer.
oh,
Yeah,
it
it's
could be the
it's
phone. Could be the phone.
It's definitely the radio, I think.
Lemming,
Yes.
Yes,
go for it.
is it indeed intriguing?
Another one who played.
Huh?
What?
Who's there?
Oh shit!
That
It was
sounds.
indeed Canis.
Is that a bell?
Oh,
Bodhihama Canis. Oh god, time to
Suddenly, dog.
What the heck are you doing here?
ruin my throat.
Tell me about it.
Where the law?
I am hello.
I am the law. You think you can show up in front of us and like it ain't a problem?
Forgive me, but I couldn't help overhearing the fascinating conversation you were having. The opportunity to gloat over your past crimes was just too good to miss, I expect.
Would you like Bodhihama
President
taken away
Wang.
from you if he talks a lot to Edward?
It's fine. I did, but it's not something I'm inclined to gloat over. I was more interested in something else you mentioned. Or someone else, should I say? Someone you're looking for, I suppose. Exactly. That's why I took a little sojourn from the penitentiary to find a certain young pup. A young pup in a rather eye-catching red raincoat.
can I just say that your body armor is like extremely fucking unnerving?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
really good.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I know.
well
I
played.
meant it as like a very high compliment. I'm just saying, like, fucking hell, dude. If I hear this in the RPG, I'm skedaddling. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
You are being
Getting the I have a bad feeling about this bonus and leaving.
What?
Yes.
It's kind of like what George R. Martin said to Jack Gleason after his debut as Joffrey. Like, good job, kid. Everyone hates you.
Wait, you know who they are?
In a manner of speaking, what did you call them again? A secret mastermind. Ah. Now this is Lemming.
It's your friend in the red raincoat, of course.
Red raincoat? The prosecutor looks a little surprised. Doesn't he, Albert? Yes, yes, he does. The young pup I mentioned. He saved my life, you know. 12 long years ago. And with that revelation, we're going to call it a week.
No.
Ebak does not want to talk to himself today.
No, Ebak does not want to talk to himself all this week, and I think for next time we might have Canis played by someone else to spare my fucking voice.
I can take Canis.
Don't ruin your own voice, but I do enjoy doing Canis. I do enjoy being very unsettling, but it is it is really difficult on the voice.
Yeah. It's not easy being an assassin.
Yeah. And I imagine we either might get the game done next week or another week, 1 week or two. 1 week or two. That's what I predict.
Wow, I didn't realize we were so close to the end.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, we are speed gaming towards Throws of a Watchmaker.
Well, I mean, do you agree with my assessment, Kay, or am I a bit out of my depth there?
I think maybe one more.
Yeah, to be
is the
fair,
thing.
the final confrontation with... can we all remember how long it took for us to take down fucking... what was his face?
It's not nearly as long of a final confrontation, but like scene-wise, if I remember correctly, we're like 2 scenes away as opposed to 1 scene away. Like, and by scene I mean like location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably 2 to 3. 2 to 3. But yeah. That's gonna be
games get long.
I mean, yeah, especially in the final confrontation, they often do. But yeah, that is what we are going to leave it at this week, especially since I've got a meeting in 25 minutes. So,
Oh dear.
project stuff. It's fine. But this has been Silly Voices Saturday, and we've been your entertaining bunch of people. Yeah. I want to thank the cast. I want to thank Burr.
See you next week.
I want to thank Divot.
Yang Fa says everyone will have a scratchy sore throat.
Drifting.
That's also incorrect. It's not Jennifer, it's like Langzi.
It's Langzi.
Yeah, close enough. Kay.
Let's keep going. I'm excited.
Laura Petal.
When will I cry to myself next time? I wonder.
Lemming Russ.
I'll be seeing you all next week.
Mistropolis.
Still a mystery to be a...
And Shadow.
I have lines.
You do. You do.
Sometimes.
You do. You do. You do them marvelously.
Wait, are you
I'm pretty much the only one who didn't have any lines, but it's fine.
Aww.
It's fine. I got to draw and listen to you talk. It was nice.
We can give you body dama, Kenneth.
No.
I mean, in fairness, I was building a space shuttle at the time, so you know.
Assassin to assassin combat.
Yeah,
No.
see, this is the difference between people who just play games and people who are actually doing something. We were just being silly, and Shadow was building a fucking space shuttle.
Yeah. Oh no.
And I was drawing, so.
Oh no. What are those two? One. Hey, look! It's my favorite part of the show.
What's
that?
The end. Oh!
Those two are brutal.
God damn it, you
My My favorite gay
Surrounded by idiots.
All right, then. That's it from us, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Good night, everyone.
Bye bye.
Good night, everybody.
Why?
Yeah.